Education do better academically, so parent-teacher conferences are an important element of a child's education, but some parents just don't bother to attend them. Well, now a prosecutor in Michigan wants to make those meetings a legal obligation. Wayne County Prosecutor Kym Worthy is actually proposing a law that would throw parents who skip parent-teacher conferences in jail for 3 days. And she's joining us this morning from Detroit. Prosecutor Worthy, thank you so much for joining us. And I got to tell you, I was just floored when I first heard this proposal. 3 days in jail for missing a parent-teacher conference. What do you say to people who think this is the nanny state on steroids?
Well, a lot of people say that we shouldn't legislate morality, but we already do. We legislate for children specifically that they have to be in car seats. We legislate that parents have to send their children to school if they're 6 to 15 years old. And here in Michigan, you can go to jail for up to 30 days in jail if you don't send your children to school. We legislate drinking and driving. We legislate leaving your kids alone. So we legislate all kinds of things already when it comes to children.
But jail for missing a conference?
Well, this is a part, what's not been reported a lot is that this is about a full comprehensive package we put together. And this is but one aspect of it. And again, it's not that you miss one and you go to jail. That's not it at all. You schedule it. You have up to 3 opportunities to schedule your conferences at your convenience. Night, afternoons, and midnight for parents who work. And also you have exemptions. It's not for children who are doing well in school. If your child is performing well in all their classes, we're not talking about you. If you can't make it to the school because you're sick or infirm, or for other reasons you can't get there, as long as you're contacting the school in some way. And even if you don't go as well, as long as you're contacting in some way. So again, there are exemptions. We're not talking about the first time. We're not talking about the second time. We're not even talking about the 3rd and 4th time. And there are also intervention services before we get there as well.
So this is only for the most extreme cases. You know, we talked to a random sampling of people in Detroit about your proposal. We want to show you a bit of what they had to say.
It would be great for the parents to be more involved, but it's hard, you know.
Why send a parent to jail for 3 days because they didn't attend a parent-teacher conference? Go out there and get the real criminals that's actually committing crimes instead of going at a parent.
They do need to make parents more accountable.
I feel like it's ridiculous. If you do get jailed, you have a possibility of losing your job.
I don't think it's feasible.
It's not a good idea.
I think that it's good that the law has stepped in that makes you wake up and say, I need to get up to this school.
Wide variety right there. What have you been hearing in Detroit?
Pretty much the same thing, but when people hear the details of it, they say, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know if I was sick and couldn't go, there are other options. I didn't know that if my child was doing well, there are other options. But the biggest thing really is that people don't realize that in this state already, you can already go to jail for, like I said, up to a month if you don't send your child to school. And people don't really know that either. But it's important as a prosecutor, for us to understand this. We prosecute aggressively violent crimes, and more and more and more we're seeing students as young as 10, 11, 12, 13 committing the most violent of crimes. And guess what we find out? They're not in school, they don't have parental supervision, and that parent has not been up to that school. And so again, this is but one in a series of things that we want to try to introduce that will go right to parental responsibility, and ultimately, if our children are in school and doing well, they are not out committing crimes.
Kym Worthy, thank you very much. Provocative proposal. We want to find out what everybody back home thinks about all this. Do you think parents should go to jail if they miss a conference? Weigh in on our shout-out board at ABC.